All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to this edition of the Original Sports Podcast with my Barbershop crew. Great to have everybody back joining us on this lovely Tuesday evening. We all just had like a 3.5 day weekend. I can't tell you if I'm happy or sad about that because when it ends, we got to go back to work, and it's never the most pleasant thing in the world. But my guys are here with me. We're going to talk some NFL. Again, we're going to go through some of these games, look at the scores and look at some problems with some of these teams and some highlights. We're going to do something new this week. It's called Spontaneous Reactions. I have 4 different particular headlines that we're all going to react to. We're going to pick our games for next week's week 4 of the NFL season. Oh, what the hell? Tell these people who you are. Start with K. Waddy.
Kevin Watson. That's all I need to know.
All right, Terry.
Hey, do you guys hear that? Play my theme music. T says in the house. Let's go.
Let's go. Coach Noob, so listen, that 3-day weekend, I think we need to go to that permanently. 4-day work week. I'm with the auto workers. Let's go for it. 4-day work week.
Just read Frederick County Public Schools is starting to turn pages over. Looking at that now.
Hey, turning pages. I'm with the Writers Guild. I'm ready to take a strike.
Think about how much money they would save just on buses and all that stuff.
Wah, wah. Yep, exactly.
Better for the environment.
Oh, my God. But we have all those electric buses in our school district, so. All right, we're moving on, man. We're moving on. Here we go.
That's good.
Haley Van Voorhees, former Washington Commanders cheerleader, junior safety, Shenandoah University, first non-kicker female to play college football. She's a safety. Watson, thoughts on that?
I'm all for it. I mean, she did her thing. She earned it. Let it roll, man. I know at Watkins Mill we had a female that actually got on the field. She played and was not a kicker. So
was that girl who played for me and you, Kevin?
No. I'm talking about this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this year. Yeah.
That girl that played for you and I, man.
Mm-hmm.
She had that brother to play too.
Yeah,
a couple of good kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
she was tough as nails, and then she was like head cheerleader in the winter sports.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Young thoughts on this young lady,
Haley VV. I can't pronounce that. 5'6", 145. You're almost as big as me, kid. Keep working, you'll get there. Track star. But did you watch the clip? It looked like a remake of Rudy. She was slow and white coming off the edge. She almost had a sack. The quarterback, he enjoyed getting tackled by her a little bit. Yeah, it was a good show.
Yeah. Okay.
Oops.
I get very nervous about girls playing football, man. It's just such a violent sport. My daughter's no chance I would ever let them play. If the girl is powerful enough to do it and she feels like she's not going to get hurt, then more power to her. I would support her 100%, but man, it makes me nervous. It's a violent sport.
Okay. I hear you, Noobs. I hear you.
What about you?
Me? Yeah. My thoughts, Watson. They have flag football up here in Frederick County now. It's a legit team sport. Legit. They're going to have it in Montgomery County next year. Kudos to the Baltimore Ravens for footing the bill for that. I really give them the utmost credit. I think that's a wonderful thing they're doing. Before you know it, girls flag football is going to be a sport across the country, and I'm not sure how it'll go from there. But I don't think it's a bad thing. The more you can keep kids competitive, it's at any level that's safe for them. I'm down with it. So
they had a women's tackle league a couple years ago.
They had that lingerie league.
Yeah, and hey, hats off to Vince Ahern too for organizing that whole thing. That was huge.
Oh,
Vince,
hell yeah.
a great guy. Great guy.
Joey says, what would happen if your daughter got crack-backed?
Joey,
blindsided.
Yeah, she would be out there.
Joey has a great point here, too. I love this, Joey. Joey says MCPS needs to do something in middle school So that's a good place to start. I agree with that, Joey.
I agree.
I agree with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's move on, guys. Yankees eliminated from the playoffs for the first time since 2016. Good or bad for baseball? Let's go to Noobs to start this time.
I think it's great for baseball. Screw the Yankees. I mean, they spend so much money. It's nice to see them get eliminated early.
Yeah. Okay. Watson, I know you're a Yankee fan.
Hey, here, and I had this talk earlier today. I didn't even know there was a baseball season going on. All right. Are they still playing it? Have they had the World Series yet? Somebody let me know. All right. Because I'm still upset with baseball. There's got to be a salary cap. And until they do that to make everything even, it's pointless because, I'm a Yankees fan. But at the same time, they just spend money. That's all they're going to do, spend money. The Dodgers, they spend money. All these big name 100%. Teams, they spend money. And then you use like 100%. The Orioles. They're good this year, but I guarantee you next year, the big name guys are going to rob them. So until they can fix it, I'm done with it. I'm done with it.
100%. It even happened in the Nationals too. The Nationals had the same issue. They had all that talent, won the World Series, and then they've lost. They had to watch all those other guys walk away.
Yeah.
Sis?
It is great for baseball. That's what we see in the NFL. We see these teams in hockey coming out. I'm not saying worst to first and first to worst, but they're in the mix for a good while. They get some roster changes moving, flux things moving around. But it is good to see other teams, I don't want to say having a chance. They all have a chance. That's why they're out there. They all have a chance. But it is hard to compete when you got the buku bucks, the billionaires of the Dodgers and the Yankees buying their teams and stuff like that. But it is nice to see the Orioles in it again. The Rangers got some firepower but down there, and they just keep buying pitching. The Braves and Brewers, just talking about the NL because that's where we are. But it is nice to see other teams. I agree.
And then you got Minnesota, who just won their division the other day, which is really good for baseball. That's a small market team. I'm so indifferent about baseball, but I'm 100% with you, Kevin. There needs to be a salary cap. We don't need to have that discussion anymore. If baseball wants to get people like Kevin Watson and maybe Coach Noob watching baseball, because I know Terry and I still watch it, if they want to get people like you guys to watch it, they need to have a salary cap, point blank. I don't care what it is, or at least a spending floor, because a team like the Pittsburgh Pirates, a team like the Cleveland Guardians, a team like, the Miami Marlins, those guys don't spend to the floor. Now, maybe Miami will in the future with Jeter as one of the owners, but for now, all right, man, we're going to move along here. Where's my bell? Hit the bell. All right.
Oh, my ears.
So, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift are the latest hot couple in the sports entertainment world, man. How long do you give them? And will she write that breakup song about Travis when it's over?
When's the season over? When's the season over?
February.
February. Yeah, give them till January.
All right.
She doesn't strike me as a football girlfriend or wife. I don't think she has the patience to deal with that. And T Sizzle, I think because of all the press and stuff, I think they'll last a little longer. Like I give them like maybe March, April-ish.
She's ready to take that era tour over to Europe, I hear. That's going to come pretty soon. You think Travis is going to roll to Europe with her? That ain't happening.
That ain't happening.
Didn't he not propose, but didn't he solicit her date on his podcast?
Yes. So, and apparently that's how she ended up at the game.
Why didn't we start this podcast sooner? What the hell?
Is your wife watching the stream? Watson, how long are they going to make it, man?
I don't even know if they've started. That's where I'm at. I think this thing is, it's a lot of pub, and you throw it out there, and then the fans are buying it. The NFL's buying into it, and it hits all social media aspects of everything. These jokers are playing all of us. They playing.
Not me.
She was in the box with mom. She was sitting in the family box.
All right.
Sold a lot of
Moving
jerseys.
on.
Yes, exactly.
Let's
Yeah.
go. Here we go. Last one.
All right.
Last one.
What do we
Was
got?
Coach Prime's first 2 W's done with smoke and mirrors, or was this weekend an anomaly? The road ahead is not easy for the man. Smoke and mirrors, anomaly. News.
I'm going to say neither. I think he's coached. It's a good program. You can't win top 5, top 10 teams. That you can't win against those guys with a bunch of transfers. I think he's got some great talent on his team. Some of the best players in college football. But when you play in the big games, your weaknesses get exposed, and he's not. He doesn't have those 5 stars, 4 stars across the board. So I think they're a solid program. I think their coaches have done a great job. That was a 1 win team. What, 1-11, 1-12, whatever. One win team last year. They have made incredible strides. They're not top 10. It's almost impossible to go from 1 and whatever to top 10. But I do think he's doing a great job. I think the stuff he says, it kind of leads people to get defensive or point fingers at him. I think he's a great coach. I think he's got great coaches on his staff. I would love to have played for him. Like, if I was a player, I'd love to play for a guy like that. He's passionate.
Passionate is the word. Passion is the word.
And Noobs just hit it on. He just hit the nail on the head. He said, "I would love to play for that guy." I guarantee you. Now, Oregon's supposed to be, or Colorado leaving the conference. I bet you they won't put him on their schedule. Not in the
Dan Lanning had those kids fired up, but
there's no way he's going to put him on his schedule, because I can tell you right now, those 5-star guys, they hit in the prime time. There's no doubt about it.
Dan Lanning did to Prime what Prime started with him. So he basically got his guy. Prime got himself in front of TV. He said, "I'm going to do this. I'm going to change this. I'm going to do all this." And he got people fired up, and they came to Prime, right? Yeah. Dan Lanning gets the cameras in the locker room before they play the game. And what's he do? He gets his people all fired up, kind of talking trash the opposite direction. But I will say this: Colorado State and TCU were not good teams. Okay, they weren't. Prime beat them. I get it. You play who's on your schedule with the players they have on their schedule, but they are not really good teams. Okay.
But now you say not really good teams, but you got to remember they were 1-11. So you can't say that Colorado was even a good team.
And they were 17th going into the season. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to weigh it one way with the other.
I got you. Go ahead, Sis.
Oregon handed it to them 42-6 last week. What's USC going to do this week? They're ranked number 8.
Yeah.
They'll pour it on.
They're going to struggle. They're going to struggle. Yeah. And they're really going to struggle because they don't have the Hunter kid. I mean, he helps a little bit if he's in the game. Do they win it? Probably not. But I think he can make it a little closer. I think that kid's that good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's more than just a little good. He's
I hear you. Here we go. We're moving on, man. We're moving on. Ooh. All right, couple shout outs before we keep moving. We got some people watching us, giving us some love. Higante, he says the real Taylor Swift is on the Eagles. And Ian from Australia, our friend from Australia, Eagles favorites for me in second gear at the moment, though. So, okay. Thanks, guys, for joining in. Yeah. Joey with the little TCU comment. That's what it's going to take at Watkins Mill High School to bring somebody in like Prime. Yeah. You got him. He's on here, Joey. His name's Kevin Watson. We just got to get him back on board.
Yeah, exactly. Nope.
Hey, let's get into week 3, man. San Fran 30, Giants 12 last Thursday night. Purdy put up over 300 yards, 2 touches. McCaffrey ran for 119 again. Even Debo got in on the action with 129 in the air. They're averaging 30 points a game. How do you slow that juggernaut?
You don't right now.
Yeah, right now. Yeah. I don't know if you got an answer. They're so balanced. And they can run it. They can pass it. I mean, they got a little bit of everything. And then you got, Purdy back there. He making things look pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard. I mean, right now they're probably my number 1 power team right now. They're probably ranked number one. Yeah,
I would say that. Hey, Ian. Yeah. Ian's question is this, and that goes along with what Kevin said. Ian said, "Why are college teams ranked, and why do the fans take notice of it?" Well, basically, college teams are ranked because it's so wide open. There are so many college teams, so they go by strength of schedule. They go by victory points. There's a whole formula that they use. Ian, what Coach Watson's talking about, they do in no uncertain terms. They power rank in the NFL. And it's based off of, defensive rank, offensive rank, and there's a whole formula for that too. So they don't use that formula necessarily to rank the teams in the NFL 1 through 32. However, they do put out a power formula based on who's best to who's last. So I hope I answered your question right there, my guy. I put this into Giants are now 1-2. Daniel Jones got paid big cash. He had 137 yards and a pick. Breida, 4 carries, 17 yards. Their leading rusher. Darius Slayton, he had 3 catches, 32 yards. We thought the Steelers were bad. Good God. And then you have Waller, their big out of season acquisition, 3 catches, 20 yards on 7 targets. It's 7 targets, so they took him out.
Right? That's a tight end.
What's that?
That's that tight end from the Raiders, right?
Yes.
So,
what happened to him? Because he was like the next big, and then he just fizzled.
But he had a great preseason. They thought he was going to be unbelievable this year. He's a little injured. I think is it a knee injury?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure what's wrong with him.
But as
he's
injured though. He's banged up.
Yeah.
I know he's on the field, Mike.
I watched some of that game. I felt like they were just a little off. Like they were so like Waller was really close on a couple of those receptions. It was just the ball was just put a little high or a little behind them. The timing was a little off. And give San Francisco credit. Defensively, they were where they needed to be. They contested almost every throw.
Every week that goes by, that Steeler loss first game of the season doesn't hurt quite as much because they are a juggernaut right now. And until they get a couple of injuries, a couple of guys banged up and have lower production underneath them, I think they're just going to continue to roll. But just like everybody else in the NFL, there's highs and lows. It's a marathon. So you never know what's going to happen to this team. They could come out starting like gangbusters. Who knows where they end up in the end? How about this? So will the Giants get it together and challenge in the East, or is this it? This is what you get with the Giants this year.
This is what you're going to probably get. I mean, you look at that conference, and I mean it's pretty tough. The Eagles, you got the Cowboys, even though they took that loss this weekend, and then you add in the Commanders, who also even though they took their loss, but they're better. I think right now the Giants are probably looking at number 4 in that conference.
Yeah.
Same thing, sis.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, I could see them maybe being around 500, maybe 7-9, or no, 7-10, something like that at the end of the day. That's where I see them. All right, moving on. Colts 22, Ravens 19. Ravens brought in receivers for Lamar, guys. Ravens brought in receivers. They're not getting it done yet, okay? They lost 2 more running backs, essentially. And now they're down 3 running backs. I think Gus Edwards may try and give it a go this week, but
banged up.
Yeah, I mean they're all different. I don't know what goes on there, but those guys get dinged up pretty good. Was the pass interference a bad call or a blown call?
The Maloik worked. We put the Maloik on him.
Right there. Yeah. What do you think? I bury my head and I say that was a piss poor miss right there. That was pretty much pass. It was bad.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
That was bad. I'd love to tell you I feel for them, but they're in our division.
Yeah, that's why I'm a little,
They're missing 9 starters? Is that right?
Is that how many now?
I think it's 9 starters. Dude,
and I think they signed a linebacker today or outside linebacker today.
From the Chargers.
Yes, Van Noy.
Van Noy.
Van Noy, yeah.
Oh, they signed Cal Van Noy. Yeah, he's been sitting out there forever.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good fit for what they do. He's outside. He's an edge guy.
Yeah.
Can rush or drop.
Well, Steelers only play 3 linemen. They don't have tackles. They play with 3 linemen, so he'll be good against them. So Minshew took care of business. He took care of the ball, didn't make any giant plays, but he's a hell of a quarterback, guys. I don't care what anybody says. If he's my backup and he comes in, he can play 5-6 games for me while my guy gets healthy, and he can give me a chance to win. Zach Moss, he had 122. I mean, that's all they needed. They needed to control the ball. Lamar's numbers on Sunday, 22 for 31, 202 in the air. He had 14 carries for 101. I think they had something like 369 total.
He had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had 2 touchdowns. Guys, if you're watching this and you're sitting here with me, you could take this however you want, but Lamar's a running back playing quarterback. If he's carrying the ball that much, rushing for 100 yards a game, I mean, he's the only one who does that in the league as far as quarterbacks go. There's a difference between a quarterback who can run and a quarterback who runs all the time. And that's my take on it. And I don't care if you like it or not.
Well, I asked the question, why does he run it as often as he does? What's the reason? Because I mean, he did have 100 and some yards, and he pretty much kept his team in it, really, by doing that. Was it out of choice? Was it necessary for him to do that this week?
I was going to ask that last week. There's obviously design plays for him, right? But
yeah, sure.
When you're in the pocket and you got that clock, quarterback has that clock, but I think his clock might be a little bit, I won't say off, but it's a little bit quicker, and he's out.
Sure
he's out of that pocket a lot quicker.
Everybody goes back to his junior year when he won in college, when he won the Heisman, right? Mm-hmm. But he was calm and patient. He threw the ball more. He was more in tune with what he needed to do as a complete quarterback. The next year, he wasn't quite as good, and he hasn't done that since he's come to the league. Listen, they were bitching about the coordinator there. They bitched about the receiving core. I mean, they're getting the same results with changes, okay? The same results with changes. So how many weeks you give him?
Who?
He's running the ball that much. How many weeks you give him? Mike, how many weeks before he gets nicked up?
Oh.
You hate to say
it's hard. It's hard to say. I mean, and I say that being that, I mean, he's an escape artist also, and he like the one where the dude had him. I mean, the dude had him, and he somehow got out of it. I mean, who knows how? If he's smart about it, knows when to get down, knows when to go out of bounds, he'll be fine. You just can't take the hit. That's all. The direct hit is what he can't take.
I think with the athletes at that level, though, can you avoid that when you run it 14 times?
Yeah. Franco Harris did. He knew how to get out of bounds. Shoot, you got to know, I mean, and they give the quarterback the right to slide. Yeah, they give you the right to slide. You don't have to take that big hit.
Hey, let's move on.
What the heck is going on? Somebody tell me what is going on here.
They liked your point there.
I told you I'm bringing action. I got it figured out, man. Hey, the Browns rebounded, but the Titans, man. Mike trying to convince me they're no, Mike. No, they even went to their second running back. That's how bad Derrick Henry looks right now. Tannehill threw for 104 yards. Henry rushed for 20 yards. I mean, how long do they go with Tannehill before we see either Malik Willis or Will Levis? How much longer?
Malik Willis.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't think they go there at all. I don't think either one of them. Yeah, I don't think either one are better than Tannehill.
104 yards in the air, Coach.
I know, but I think Tennessee's got more of an issue. Why are you only giving the ball to Henry 5 times?
Yeah,
I don't understand that. He's not hurt, and I don't care. I mean, what's going on with that?
Well, but Tennessee beat the Chargers last week. They're not awful. They're not an awful team. They had a bad day, and the Browns are legit on defense.
Mike, you
talked about the Browns are playing really well.
But Mike, you talked last week in depth about the Chargers defense. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's awful, but they won this week.
They beat.
They shut out the highest scoring quarterback in the league this week. You know, they let him pass, but they kept him off the board enough to score.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think some changes need to happen in Tennessee. They had a nice little 3-year window there, 3-year run, and they're sticking with a guy who's been in the league for 12 years. And he really doesn't have a lot to hang his hat on. He's never even made the Pro Bowl, which is some shit anyway. But, you know, from that perspective, I mean, come on. He's a game manager, and he can't even take his team to the next level in these types of games. I will say this much, too, though. Cleveland's defense is legit, guys. 3 of the 4 of us are Steeler fans, and we beat that defense with defense, and we lost to San Francisco. But you probably played the top 2 defenses from what I've seen the first 3 weeks in the league.
100%.
They got them out of the way. That shit's out of the way, and you went 1-1 against it. You know, that's a good thing as far as Steeler fans should be concerned. Hey, Deshaun's day was not horrible. He rebounded some, 289 yards in the air, 22 for 33 and 2 touchdowns. The run game is struggling now, though.
Yeah.
The run game is struggling. And if they got to count –
I thought –
hey, do you think this team can win counting on Deshaun's arm? Because Pierre Strong had 27 yards on the ground. He was their leading rusher.
No, they got to get Kareem Hunt going. That's all. They picked him up. They got to get him going. Once they get him going, then that's going to be their primary running back.
They got one of the top O lines too. They'll be fine. They'll get the running game going. I agree with you, KY. They got it. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see as we go forward here. Falcons and Lions. Lions beat them 20-6. Kind of feel like the Falcons hit a wall finally. You know, 2 field goals. Both of those teams were 2-0. Ryder only completed 50% of his passes. Bijan and Algier totaled 45 yards on the ground combined. They couldn't stop Amon-Ra St. Brown. They couldn't stop Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta did some good stuff, which he came there expecting to. And finally, their number 1 pick, Jahmyr Gibbs, had his best day as a pro. I think he had like 88 yards, something like that. So that's kudos to them. Aiden Hutchinson continues to dominate on the defensive side of the ball, man. You know, he had 2 pass defenses, he had a forced fumble, and he had 2 sacks. He's in the next wave. I said it last week, and I'll continue to say it. He's in the next wave of great pass rushers. You know, but on the other side, that Atlanta's division isn't the strongest. Do they have enough to win it, though? Or should they sell off, get draft picks when time comes?
I don't. Yeah,
you all just looked at me like, "What the?"
Yeah, I don't know if they can. I don't know if they can sell off because they don't have much to sell off, and the ones that people would want, they're not going to give up. So
they're going to give up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, and anything else, they don't really have anything. I mean, it's not like that. I don't think they have enough to win their division. I don't think that either. No.
Can they move?
They'll get better. They'll be what, a little under 500.
Yeah, probably.
Kind of like the Giants.
We'll see. Their division's weak as hell, though. Let's face it. That division is weak.
It's going to be them and the Saints, I think.
Yeah,
you could be right. Court. I think the Saints are a better team overall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, overall, no doubt.
Anybody feel like I do? I think that Campbell will have his team ready for the second half of the season and heading into the playoffs. I know they're playing decent ball right now, but I think he will have a head of steam by the time he gets to mid-season. They'll flounder there, have maybe their break, and then take off from there. Anybody feel that way?
I could see that. I think St. Brown is the top 7 or 8 receiver in the league. And Sam Laporta, they said, his stats are ridiculous. Like he's going to be up there as one of the best rookie tight ends ever. So he's got some studs. And Jahmyr Gibbs, we didn't even mention him. I didn't mention him.
And Jared Goff's playing probably some of his best ball. So
yep. Yeah.
I don't think their schedules is that hard. I'm not sure what rank it is, but
they're always like the third or fourth place team.
The NFC North,
I mean, you gotta
is not the strongest right now. The Bears suck, and the Packers are growing pains with Love. And the Vikings are always there, but always losing again.
0-3.
So I think they might have that division, and then they're playing the AFC West, which is pretty tough. And they beat the top team on AFC West, the Chiefs, week 1. So I think they got a really good chance of winning that division and definitely going to the playoffs.
Got you.
All aboard?
Oh my gosh!
It's the Jordan Love train.
Okay.
The Jordan Love train. Hey, the Pack with a hell of a comeback, guys. What a hell of a comeback. We were sitting down and watching. We missed you on Sunday out at Springfield Manor. We drank some for you, though. I promise you. The Saints had complete control of that game. Rasheen, hey, we miss you, my man. I hope you're doing okay. But, it was 14-0, and I think he leaned over to me, and I think he said, hey, didn't you take the Saints? And no, he said, didn't you take the Packers? And I said, yeah. And it was 14-0, and I'm like, holy shit, they look bad. We were
giving it in.
Yeah, it just blew my mind away that the Packers came back and they scored all their points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
every one of their points.
I think when Carr got hurt, I think the Saints you just saw the air come out.
Yep.
But then I didn't realize they had Jameis Winston still there. He should have been able to keep things going. That worried me a little bit that he wasn't able to do that. Because he's been, it's not like he hadn't been on the field. He's been on the field. He should have been able to continue that whole thing. And that worried me a little bit. And the Saints should be concerned about that going forward. How many weeks does Jameis have to play? Was he ready to
Crabman? Well,
crab legs.
Okay, so reports are that Derek Carr has some kind of sprain in his shoulder, and I was listening to Ryan Clark talk about it today. An extremely painful, whatever the sprain is. Ryan Clark said that when he was playing in Pittsburgh, he didn't practice all week, but he played because right before the game, they gave him a painkiller shot. So he was able to go out and do it. I don't know if they're going to do that with Carr. I don't.
Right or left?
Right shoulder.
That's a throwing arm. You can't do it on his throwing arm. You can't cortisone it.
Yeah.
He'll do too much damage.
Yeah.
So that's going to be kind of impactful for them. However, after one more week, they're going to get their guy back. They're going to get Alvin Kamara back after this week.
Yeah.
So maybe Crabman can lead him to a victory. I don't know. He's been around. It's not like as long as he's not flinging the ball all over the place and throwing picks, he's not a bad quarterback.
No, he's not.
One of the interesting things that I learned about him was that since he played in college, he daps up everybody when they come in after the game to the locker room, win or lose. He stands there and he daps up everybody. He just, that's who he is. And I think that's a pretty stand-up thing. And they're going to great.
What?
They're going to dap up the Buccaneers. That's who they're playing next week. The Bucs.
Yeah, it could happen. Hey, let's go to this, though. The Texans 37 and the Jags 17. I think there's an APB out for Trevor Lawrence, first of all. Where is that guy?
There's an APB out for their whole team.
His receivers. He had some drop balls in the end zone. It wasn't him. It wasn't him.
Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, Zay. I mean, like he's got guys. They can't drop the ball. They can't drop the ball. I don't know. As far as the Texans go, you're seeing probably maybe the best Ohio State quarterback to ever play in the NFL.
Well, yeah,
maybe.
That ain't hard
it's
to
early.
do. That's a whole nother issue.
It's early though. But
It
he
is
does
early.
have some receivers. The big guy for him is Tank Dell. Honest to God, 5 catches for 145. 5 catches.
That's impressive, but he's almost has 90 attempts with no interceptions. That,
Yeah.
I mean,
That's super impressive.
That is really impressive. I don't know. Kenny Pickett throws an interception every 10 passes, but that for a rookie and coming out and especially playing for the Texans, who they have nothing to lose. They're just putting it all out there. He's doing a nice job.
D'Amico Ryans is legit, guys. And here's what I learned today. Their offensive coordinator name escapes my head, was the quarterback's coach with the San Francisco 49ers. So he brought the Shanahan system along with D'Amico Ryans into Houston. That's where the difference is. That's where the difference is.
Yeah. So you said, so what you're saying, so go ahead, say, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Bobby Slowick.
Oh, okay. Yep. So what you're saying, if I read this correctly, is you're saying on Sunday we better be worried. I think that's what you said. The Steelers better be worried.
They don't have much of a running game, but the kid's going to sling the rock. And if we're playing 25 yards off like we just did against Oakland, which I hate that shit.
Oh my God.
Okay. What I don't know why they anyway. If they're doing that, this kid's going to sling the rock.
Oh, we're going to get it. Yeah, it's going to pick us apart.
Yeah.
Shoot, I get out there and throw that with my bad elbow.
Yeah. Yep. So, but they have no running game, so they're one-dimensional.
They do have a running game. I just thought he just hadn't gotten on track.
Damian Pierce.
Yeah, and that's what also works.
Singletary, but combined, they had 72 yards. What the Steelers got? They got a better running game than the Steelers got.
No. But look, Travis Etienne, 138 combined yards, between running and catching. Ingram, he was their top receiver, and his numbers weren't very good. So I ask you this. Is that team a little overhyped? Are they ready to make a jump?
I think they're ready. I just think something is not clicking, and without being, around it and following them, but there's something not clicking. Don't know what it is, but there's something.
I thought about this for a while. I think they have a maturity issue. And I think you lose a game like this that you should win on paper, that you're 8-point favorites. That happens when you overlook a team or whether you're partying or something. There's something going on behind the scenes that we don't know about because they're way too talented to lose a game like the way they lost it.
But
I would agree.
You say about maturity is in regards to them going out and partying or doing stupid stuff. But if you think about it, maturity in regards to NFL football experience, they've had the number 1 draft pick, up until the last couple of years, like 10 years in a row, because they suck so bad. So I don't think they're quite there yet in regards to experience. They're getting there.
Got to bring in some leadership. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, in the locker room leadership. I'm not talking about the coach, who I think is a pretty solid guy, Peterson. But yeah. The next game I have to talk about, I really don't want to talk much about it. And if you guys want to, we can. But the Dolphins beat the Broncos 70-20. It was like every time they touched the ball, they were taking it to the house, whether it was passing, whether it was running. And I listened to one of the Broncos linemen. His name escapes my head. I'm getting old, guys. Sorry. But he sat in his locker and they asked him a question about, their team or whatever. And he looked at them and he said, "I'm just fucking tired of losing. I've been here 7 years. We've never won. I'm tired of losing." And that was it. He put his head back down. That was it. Is Sean Payton the guy for that job? Is it going to be a complete blow up rebuild? Like what? I think it starts with Russell Wilson, to be honest with you.
Well, that's not his quarterback. Russell Wilson is not his quarterback. And I think after this year, I think him and Russell Wilson will part their ways because that's not his guy.
So who does he go after? Does he let this team squander in the wind and go get one of those guys coming out?
There's a lot of these guys coming out, and there's probably a good 5 of them that could go in the first round next year. So
Caleb Williams.
So I definitely see him plucking one of those guys. There's no doubt. No doubt. Russell Wilson will not be in the Broncos uniform next year.
You got to point the finger at their defense in this situation. They scored 35 points in both halves, and they let up at the end. They could have scored another field goal, would have made it 73. They would have set the record. They freaking took a knee and didn't even run the clock out. They turned it over when they took a knee. Like, instead of trying to run for a first down, they gave it up. I mean, I don't know. I think you got to give the Dolphins a lot of credit. Yeah, they did. Just like in college. Just like in college, when a team gets up like 4 or 5 touchdowns, you see it all the time. Yeah, I think they did quit, and it's embarrassing as an NFL player to have that on film. It's on film.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know. But I think you got to give the Dolphins credit. That's crazy. They had 43 rushing attempts for how many yards? Like was it 300 some rushing yards?
Yeah.
That's insane.
And when they were running, I tell you what, the seas were parting as they were running too, because I mean the holes were, they were huge, and dudes were just sliding through them and off to the races. And once they got to that next level, you're not catching those guys. That's
you know what the remedy is for those guys.
They got a lot of speed.
Play the Jets.
What's that?
Play the Jets with Zach Wilson. That's the remedy.
I think McDaniel's a hell of a coach, man. I think offensively he's got some incredible vision. Not afraid to break the mold and go away from what everyone's doing. I think it's fun to watch. It's entertaining as hell.
I've read something about how he threw his name in the hat to get an interview with Denver, and they refused to interview him. And he kind of used that as motivation this week. Apparently those guys love him. And, he's probably out drinking with his boys. You know, I mean, he's a young buck himself. Yeah. Like he's really young.
Like Terry too.
Yeah, he does actually. Can Terry get that swagger on going through the?
You gotta get yourself some shades. I tell you what, you look like him.
Yeah. All right.
I'll tell you what, Terry had that swagger going on at that Maryland game. We ain't gonna go there.
That was a different type of swagger. That was stagger.
That was stagger. Chargers Vikings. Let me give you a little piece on that. Number 1 rated fantasy quarterback is 0-3, guys. Go figure. Chargers get a road victory, which is nice. Herbert to Keenan Allen accounted for 215 yards. Herbert to Mike Williams accounted for 121. Herbie had 405 yards and 3 touchdowns. Mike Williams is gone for the season. Torn ACL. Who's the next man up? Is it the number 1 draft pick? What's his name? Quentin Johnson? Or is it going to be a guy like Josh? What's his name? Josh Palmer. Yep, Josh Palmer. Yeah. But they've got a little like Palmer's good. They got a plethora of guys who can catch the ball out there. They need Eckler back as far as offense goes.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, as rushing, they had 30 yards.
I think it'll be Palmer will move into that number 2 role. They'll keep using Quentin Johnston on jet sweeps and things like that, screens. He's a good run after the catch guy. He hasn't been in the NFL, but I think he will be based on what he did at TCU. I don't know. I watched the game, the replay. You could just watch the highlights or whatever. Herbert was really impressive, man. Some of his passes were insane. They said it was the highest completion rate of anyone that's thrown over 40 balls in an NFL game.
40 to 47. That's insane.
I think
Keenan Allen targeted 20 times, caught it 18.
Crazy. My personal opinion on Herbert, he's right behind Mahomes as far as a passing quarterback. That's my personal opinion. That doesn't mean it's right.
I feel like I'm biased, but when I watch him throw, it just amazes me.
Yeah.
Go ahead, T-Sis.
I would say I think Herbert might be a little bit better passing quarterback.
He throws the ball. It comes out of his hand. It's so amazing how he throws it.
Mahomes is a little bit more well-rounded. I think Herbert is that pocket presence quarterback.
He's an old school guy.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree.
But on the other side, Cousins didn't have a bad game. 32-50 for 367, three touchdowns. I think Mike said he's on track for getting 6,000 yards this year. He already has over 1,000 in 3 games.
That's insane.
In 3 games.
That's insane, guys. That's insane. They went out and got Cam Akers too last week. I'll be curious to see how he fits in with those guys. because they have that other kid there, Magnente, or I can't think how you pronounce his last name, but he's done okay for them. He's been solid for them, but they're a passing team and they've got weapons and
I think that's what's hurting them though. I think they pass it too much. And without that running game to slow things down a little bit, I think that it's almost like you're putting your foot on the gas pedal, but sometimes you don't want to put your foot on the gas pedal. You got to slow it down to help your defense out. And
what the hell would you trade Delvin Cook for? Why would you cut Delvin Cook loose then? Why would you cut him loose?
Money. You just said it. Money. Straight up money. That's what that is.
Yeah.
I just don't understand some of these teams on what they're doing with their running backs. I don't quite understand it. They've just devalued that whole position, and I don't know why.
It started back with Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. And it kind of picked up steam since then. They'd rather have a 3-back system or a 2-back system where they don't have to pay either one of them quite as much with 2 different skill sets. Yeah. I mean, you see it with almost every team now. There's nearly a bell cow back anymore. Yeah. And that's
Speaking of Dalvin Cook, how many yards do you think he's rushed for this year?
It's under 100.
Yes,
like
58 yards in 3 games. So I think he's lost a step.
I got him on one of my fantasy teams. I don't think he's lost a step. He's playing for the Jets, and they know he can't pass. So put an 8 in the box, and that's a wrap.
Brees Hall. Yeah. I'm giving the ball to Brees Hall if he's 100% healthy.
He ain't running any better.
Right.
Yeah. But the Jets are a whole other ball game there.
They've got 3 really good backs, too.
Yeah. Not when you got 8
you're
in the
right.
box.
Lukey Pookie, you're right. James Cook is better. I agree with you. James Cook's a hell of a running back, and he's starting to show it up there. I agree. Hey, Patriots, Jets. Patriots 15, Jets 10. Jets were up in this game. It was awful football. Mac Jones had a 50% completion rate. Zeke was the top rusher for the Pats with 80 yards. Next week they play his old squad, the Cowboys. The Egyptian King, Pharaoh Brown, led them in receiving with 2 catches for 71 yards on 2 targets. So he was 100% there. How much longer do they go with a guy like Mac Jones as the quarterback? That's my question.
Who's going to last longer, Mac Jones or the guy from
Tom
Tennessee?
Jones.
Tom Jones.
Tannehill.
Who's going to last longer?
Mac Jones. That's not even,
I mean, this season, not career.
Yeah. Mac Jones.
Really?
Who are you going to pull? Who are you pull Mac Jones for? Like, what are you going to do?
Bailey Zappi. They're going to bring him back. Bailey Zappi.
I thought he was on their practice squad.
He is.
They already did bring him back. Yeah.
Yeah, he's on the practice squad.
I don't understand why you let him go to begin with. I don't understand where Belichick is. I just read today where they're in the hunt to get Jerry Jeudy from Denver. Oh, there's one of the pieces of the puzzle they can move on from and get some draft capital.
Okay.
Like, why are you stockpiling receivers if you can't get a quarterback to throw to? It's beyond me. And then of course the Jets, they're the Jets. Here's a fantasy tip for everybody out there listening. Get rid of any Jets receivers you have. I got Garrett Wilson in 2 leagues. I'm ready to just freaking cut them. Just
get rid of the running backs too.
To me, they're better off. The Jets are better off tanking now and getting a new quarterback again.
Yeah.
Might as well. From that perspective. I mean, that's where they are. Noobs, this might hit and this might hurt. The Bills 37, the Commanders 3. They did get on the board. They got on the board with 3, but that was a good old-fashioned ass kicking. 9 sacks.
It was. So they were inside the 10 twice, and they should have. If they score those 2 times, I think it's 17-14 at halftime or something close to that. They could have been right in it. I think once they got to that point, it kind of like the Dolphins, where they just got so far ahead that it's a one-dimensional, makes you one-dimensional offensively.
Yeah.
So I think they became one-dimensional. They're best when Brian Robinson's shoving the ball down your throat and running, and then they can go play action.
Yeah.
They're not built for coming back like that. And Sam Howell holds the ball too long. He's got to really work on getting rid of the ball.
If 4 interceptions, that you're never going to win with 4 interceptions.
He's
No.
in that same. He's in that same draft class as Malik Willis and Kenny Pickett.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know,
They like themselves.
there was a reason that draft class hung around so long. Most of them and
Dropped. Yeah.
And this draft class too, my man. This draft class too. It's yet to be seen. Stroud looks legit. Maybe Anthony Richardson, but you know, the quarterback position is so tough anymore. I mean, it's just hard to call these guys. They were talking about this class that came out this year for how long? You know, I remember new guys were talking before the draft last year when Pickett was coming out. You know, he's like, teams are better off waiting the following year for all that talent. But look at that talent now. You know, where's it at? And that was before Anthony Richardson was even on the radar. So,
Right.
Should the Bills actually go out and get a guy? Well, I know. Should the Bills go out and get a guy like Mike Williams, who's out there? Do you think that would help them? Because I agree with this dude over here. Who was it? He told me James Cook. Lukey Pookie said James Cook. Legit. And I agree with him. James Cook is really coming into his own. He's holding that down. But I think they could use another receiver. I don't know if Gabe Davis is a number 2. I don't know if they have a legit number 2. Do you
Gabe Davis, he had a nice catch against the Commanders.
Yeah.
For the touchdown. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's that guy that likes to go deep. You know, that's kind of how he makes his little thing. But I think when it comes to, you know, as a number 2, probably not. He'd be a number 3. But I don't think they have a number 2.
So you're saying for like Mike Evans, right? Mike Evans,
yeah. I'm sorry. Mike Evans from Tampa. Yep.
Yeah, so what do you think the draft compensation would be for him? Would that be a 3rd rounder? I mean, it always surprises me how little teams get for a guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That 3rd round might be kind of high, Mike.
High?
Yeah.
He's an older guy.
I want you to reflect on some. What did Green Bay give up, or what did Green Bay get for Aaron Rodgers? Anybody remember?
Number 2? Was it a number 2? Around 2?
Are you sure? You know, I know that was a point of contention because that thing was just wavering because they couldn't come up with an agreement. You know,
I think quarterbacks are in a different class too. I think receivers, any other position, I think it's a lot less than a quarterback would.
The Packers got a 1st round, which will be a number 13, a 2nd round, which will be a 42, and a 6th round, which will be 207.
Okay, so what did the Jets get? They got Aaron Rodgers and
Zach. Yeah.
That's it.
Zach Wilson. They got Aaron Rodgers and Zach Wilson to take over after 4 plays.
I agree with you, Mike, and I would have never given up a 1st round pick for Aaron Rodgers. Never.
No.
He's 39 years old. He's 39 years old. You know, I don't buy it. Seahawks 37, Panthers 27. It's an indicative score compared to the play. Bryce Young did not play, injured already. The Red Rifle, you know, Scotty Farkas, Andy Dalton came in. And I'll tell you what, guys, that guy might have been around the league for a while. And it's been a while. He looked okay. I watched some of that game. He looked okay. Geno Smith, that's 2 old dogs out there. It was a pretty good game, all things considered. You know, I think what Carolina really needs to do is they need to take a page out of Pittsburgh's book, build a defense, and then bring parts in for that offense and eventually have everything they need there. Again, I'm going to say it. I think Bryce Young is not the answer, but that's me. You know, he may prove me wrong. That's fine. But I think he's small. He's already injured. You know, I mean,
why'd they trade DJ Moore?
To get that number 1 pick.
Just move up.
Oh, that was part of the package.
He was part of that deal.
That's right. He's part of the package.
He was part of that deal. So they got like what, 2 or 3 number 1s in DJ Moore.
It seems so counterintuitive. Like, you're going to get a young quarterback. You need a great receiver for him. It seems like the last guy you'd want to trade.
You don't
Well,
like
from
Adam
that perspective too, though, Mike, he went to Chicago, and what the hell is Chicago?
He might have gone to a worse quarterback.
He's not going to do anything for getting the ball to him.
Poor
But
DJ.
Adam Thielen, he's doing not doing too bad. 145 for 1 TD last week.
Yep.
And that's coming, like you said, from the Red Thunder, Dalton, after playing 12 years. He's all right.
Yeah. Hey, Kenneth Walker,
The third.
that's a monster right there. He reminded me, when I watched him play, he reminded me of old Beast Mode. That's who he reminded me of. He ran with that authority. He had a lean and ran with authority. And I was like, damn, this boy's going to be okay. He's going to be okay. That's part of the reason they can keep Geno Smith for a couple of years, even if he is not firing 40 passes for 300. You got a guy like that, you're okay. And then they got Charbonneau to, take some breathers off of Kenny Walker. Yeah, they're going to be all right out there in Seattle. And they always got a defense that competes. How about this game, guys? The upset special. Thoughts on America's team losing to Josh Dobbs and the Cards? Everyone keeps saying Dak is different this year. Is he though? Really?
How many
makes
is
him
that?
so
Like 4
different?
years? It's like 4 years in a row they said that.
Yeah, I mean, you keep hearing it. The Cardinals D, like Noob said, is pretty damn tough, and they held him in check. I mean, from that perspective, that's a pretty good place.
I root for two teams, the Steelers and anybody who beats the Cowboys. And I love to see them losing. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
That's great.
They got a good young coach there. They got to decide what they want to do, though. Him winning this game means he had these guys prepared to win. It just didn't. They didn't just walk on the field and get their asses handed to them. And their defense is solid. Now he's got to figure out, what do I do with this offense? Do I leave Kyler Murray in the dust? I got to figure out a way. Is somebody going to take that money from me? Because he guaranteed a shit ton.
Yeah.
I would want somebody who's going to come in and actually watch tape and prepare to win as my quarterback.
They scored 28 on a very good Dallas defense, though. Dallas's defense is pretty
they did.
Hey, Birds 41-33 has a great point. This is a great point, Birds. Cardinals had a good game plan to neutralize the threat of Micah Parsons, and that's what they did. That's what they did. How much did you hear Parsons' name on Sunday? You really didn't hear it very much. He didn't have a week like he had before that. Going back to Higante, he said, I think the Diggs injury really affected the Cowboys because they loved man coverage.
They do.
And Dan Quinn could stack the box and get the QB with ease. Now they have to do zone, and that's why they struggled. So he figures because they did zone.
There was a couple
I don't know.
things with that too. There was a couple things with the going back to the Michael Parsons thing. Also, what Arizona was doing is they were running towards him, and then when they go to pass, they rolled away from him. So now, not only on top of that, now you don't have that Diggs back there with the one-on-one coverage, and so now you're picking up a zone, and now you just got to find the hole. And what's his name is smart enough to do that, so that also gave them problems. And the fact that they were able to also then to start running the ball a little bit gave them a little bit more problems. So
former Steeler running the ball.
He's a rocket scientist, guys. He's smart.
Yeah. How about Rondale Moore? Like they took him out of the receiver spot and put him at running back? Because I went to see if he had catches. He must be like a third down back or something for them now. I don't know. I couldn't quite figure it out. But maybe you guys are right.
It makes sense.
Reacquire James Conner. He had 98 for one touchdown. He's burning it up on Dallas D too.
Hey, he's a solid flex player. He's a solid flex guy. He's on my fantasy squad.
He's not getting hurt like he did in Pittsburgh.
No, he's not.
That's the big thing with him.
Yeah.
He's not getting hurt there. And I don't understand that shit. Why was he hurt in Pittsburgh? He goes out to Arizona. Is it the weather? Is that what it is?
Could be.
Permani sandwiches. That shit will slow you down.
Hell yeah.
The cold weather makes your bones, man.
Yeah.
Okay. I got you. I agree. There's no doubt about it. But I don't understand it. But I agree. We'll go from there.
I'll
Yeah,
tell
it's
her
almost Watson's bedtime. Let's go.
Yeah.
Hey, post game thoughts right here. The highlight of that KC game. I'll bet you Kelsey and Taylor went out, danced a little music like that, had some fun. After she attended their game, Kelsey's jerseys went up 400% in sales.
Yeah.
400%.
Yeah.
Like she was the motivation there.
Money
No
maker.
doubt. Yeah, hell
Hey,
yeah.
my blood pressure went up 400% after we went out Sunday night. Too, so.
Hey, did you see his outfit he had on after the game?
Oh yeah.
Did you check that out?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Come
Straight
on now.
player. Straight player. And
I'll
she
tell
looked
you
like she
what.
looked like she just come out of the shed from her log cabin. You know, like she's a Tennessee girl.
Yeah. Social
But
media. They're playing it up. They got all you suckers.
The Chiefs lit that ass up 41-10. The Bears are abysmal. I watched a guy today as I was scrolling through Twitter. I watched a guy today take his Bears jersey of Justin Fields and put it over the fire to burn that shit. It's over. Like you got the fans doing that now. It's over.
Hey, is that why?
It is.
Have they named the kid from Shepherd to start yet next week? Because I don't know what they're waiting on.
Right,
I mean,
I
let's
agree.
be real. What are they
It's
waiting
coming.
on?
It's
It
coming.
should be next week. What are they waiting
Yeah.
on?
He
Is
can't
that
be
why
worse.
Blaine Gabbert was in?
What's that?
Is that why Blaine Gabbert went in for the Chiefs because they were just beating the crap out of him?
Oh
Or
yeah,
did-
he was in by the fourth quarter. Hi,
that
John.
right?
They
John.
said Mahomes got hurt too. They said I guess somebody rolled up
His
on
ankle.
his ankle.
Yeah,
That's what I
it was a
know.
treat.
Something happened
Yeah.
to him. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'd get him off the field too. There ain't no need
Yeah.
for him to be out there that game. All right, man. Sunday night football. We're going to play a word association game here, okay?
Oh boy.
We're going to start with the Raiders. Josh McDaniel, Watson, Josh McDaniel.
New England. Go back.
Noobs, Josh McDaniel,
Loser.
the Big L, loser.
Overrated.
T-Dubs, overrated. Yeah, I'd say that. I think Brady carried his ass.
Yes.
Here we go. Next guy,
No question.
Jimmy G. Terry, Jimmy G.
Hollywood. He
Dudes?
looks the part, but don't play it too well.
No. Noobs?
Very handsome.
Okay.
Pretty boy. That's what I was going with.
I'm gonna say
Pretty
big
boy.
ass Italian family.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
big
boy.
ass Italian. Grandpa
Yeah.
was
Tell you
there.
what.
Grandpa's like 96 or some shit, and they had him down on the field. You know,
Yeah.
Jimmy G
He was
goes over
warming
and daps
up.
up Grandpa.
He was warming up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jimmy G went over and dapped up Grandpa, and Grandpa's like, "What the hell? Who's this
Yeah.
guy?" You know, you could see that look in his eyes. All right, next guy. You ready? Max Crosby. Start with you, noobs. Max Crosby.
Inked up.
Inked up. I like it.
Inked up. Yeah. I mean, it's got
Waddy?
tattoos everywhere.
V8
I know, right?
engine.
V8 engine.
V8.
Okay.
He's a V8 engine,
Nah,
man.
he didn't have anybody blocking him. He was playing against two high school tackles. Sis.
Well,
High energy, but low performance. He didn't do not much on a stat sheet.
He had a lot of hurries, man. missed
yeah, he
any
did.
hurries.
He was in a
He's pretty
practice
good.
after night.
He's a hell of a player. I'll take him
Yes,
every
He
day.
is. He is. Man, for a guy
Especially
coming out
over-
of jail and coming right to the NFL, God bless
Yeah.
him.
Shoot.
I'll take him
Nah,
over
play
Chase
Max.
Young any day.
Ever who?
Hey, look. If
Chase
Max
Young.
heard me, I'm playing
No
Max.
doubt.
He'd probably snap my neck.
Mhm.
That's
Two
two
more
X's.
guys on this team. Devontae Adams.
Oh,
Waddy, Devontae Adams.
I think he's still catching balls out there.
Baller.
He's still catching.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. T
He
says
can make the quarterback look good. Yeah. He's a baller.
absolutely. Especially when you're playing zone 15 yards off of
Oh
him.
my gosh. Oh,
Noobs, Devontae Adams.
Underutilized
Hmm.
for the Raiders currently this year, in my
except for Sunday's game.
Sunday.
opinion. Yeah. Well,
20 targets, 13 catches.
Yeah.
20, that's pretty good. 20 targets. But
172.
prior to that, he was underutilized.
Oh.
So, okay, so they got the message.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was sick to
A
watch
week
him.
late. They got it a week late.
Last guy on the Raiders here. Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs. Noobs. Josh Jacobs.
Powerful.
All right.
We're just doing like one word, right? One or two words.
Yeah. It's
He's
a
pretty
word
powerful.
association. When you
Powerful
think of
runner.
him,
Yeah.
when you
Yeah, I
think of
think
Josh
powerful.
Jacobs, Young, what do you think?
Confusing. I don't know what we're going to get week to week.
Okay. Waddy?
I think he's underused. I think he's a guy that needs 20 to 25 carries.
Yeah, and then he starts feeling it at about 15.
Yes.
He starts ripping chunks.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep, I know that guy. Yeah, sure. I agree. Let's
Who
go to the
gets 25
Steelers side of the
carries?
ball.
Hey,
What's that?
wait. Who gets 25 carries in the game nowadays?
That's what I'm saying.
That's
But
the
he's
problem.
like 20. If he hits around 20,
Lamar
he's
Jackson.
hitting it now.
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson.
Oh, shoot. He's a
Josh
Lamar
quarterback.
Jackson does.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. He's a quarterback.
Hey,
I know that guy. I agree with what you said, K-Watt. I like it. Yeah.
let's go to the Steelers side of the ball. Let's go TJ Watt.
Who?
TJ Watt.
I know.
11th best edge player in the NFL.
Yeah.
I want to know what's the debate? What is the debate on who's
Yes,
the best
he's
DN
the
in the league? I
facts.
don't know why this is even a debate. I don't know why they continue to put it on social media. It isn't even close. I'm sorry, it's not close.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
He's an animal.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's unstoppable.
He
Consensus
looks like
right
that
now.
girl
They
from
can't.
Shenandoah coming off the edge. I mean, you know.
Oh shit! You never know. She might get drafted someday. She'll be cheerleader at halftime and playing in the game the rest of the time. Oh,
That'd be
God.
awesome.
Steelers secondary. I'm going to Watson first of all.
Find me a new defensive coordinator. Find me a new secondary coach. Find me a new scheme. Find me something. Because right now, I see nothing. I don't even see anybody covering anybody. All I see them is they just covering grass. That's all we cover, grass.
That's because we're still playing Tampa 2 15 years after
I
it
don't
went
know
out.
what we're doing. But
That's
we
what we're
can't
doing.
continue to do that and then play the bend but don't break defense.
Oh, I was going to use that. Dang it.
I'm sorry.
Because
We're breaking. We're breaking. These
Watson,
NFL
you almost
guys,
sound like you're frustrated with your head coach.
I know I'm frustrated with wherever that scheme comes from. I'm frustrated with that because it's week in and week out. Guys just run across the field, up the field. They're wide open. Nobody near them. I swear, who's the best receiver for the Raiders? We know who it is, right?
Yeah.
So why
The guy
in
who
the
caught
world
20
is that
passes.
man even by himself? If he goes to get a hot dog, somebody should be with him. I'm sorry.
Hey, here's the problem right here.
Frustrated. I'm very frustrated. Very frustrated.
Oh,
Go hard, or go home. Go home. Go hard, or go home. Go hard, or go home.
Yeah.
All right.
Get higher.
Who was this? Kenny Pickett. Oh. Let's
work
start
in
with
progress. I'm going to say a work
Making
in progress.
Yep. Sizzle.
Room for improvement.
Watson.
Let's go no huddle. I want to see what he does because I got to know if it's the old coordinator or is it him.
I'll tell you what happened. First of all, that team started to run the ball downhill instead of doing that stupid zone shit with that line that they have. Okay. That was the first thing they did right.
Yeah.
The second thing they did was they let him play action pass. They just let him play action pass. They let him do boots out. They let him roll out. That's the style quarterback he is. And then the one play that they threw the flag on, he ran like 25 yards with the ball. The guy can move. He doesn't need to run like Lamar, but he can move. He's an athlete. Let the guy be an athlete. Quit messing with his mind. Let him play football. You know, that's what bothers me the most.
That's what I read, that OC, he controls all that, won't let him audible out, doesn't let him see stuff at the line. Like, he's just.
And that's what I'm saying. Like he's killing the kid. He's killing the kid.
He's giving no creativity, dictating what everything. And it's stymieing the offense, to say the least.
I'm fascinated by the under center or off the ball thing too. That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
The tendencies are atrocious.
Well, that one drive they had, it was 6 plays and they scored. They threw the pass to Freiermuth, right? Yeah. None of the tendencies came into play there. That's the biggest. Yeah. That's the biggest takeaway from that. There were none of the tendencies were visible on that drive.
Okay. And then how many catches do our tight ends have this year?
Well, I think Freiermuth's the only one who has any catches.
Yeah, exactly.
He only has
problem.
Of course it is, because you have 3 guys that can catch the ball.
Yes. What are we doing?
Well,
I just want them to throw it to number 80. Let him catch a ball.
Yeah, I want to see that dude with the ball in his hands.
How about the 50-50 ball?
Jeez.
You got one of the best guys, best receivers over there at the 50-50 ball, and I don't think I've seen it yet this year where they just throw it up. Let the guy go get it. We don't do that even.
Yep.
I don't understand it. It's so frustrating.
Kelvin Austin III.
You mean
CA3?
CA3.
Yeah, CA3.
Yeah.
That's my dog. CA3.
God dang, I thought he worked.
Break that down for my man.
I thought he worked for MCPS. I didn't know.
I'm gonna say lightning in a bottle.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, that strike that Pickett threw to him when he was moving full speed down the middle of the field, that was just insane to watch.
First time we've done that all year too, by the way.
Second time we did it with George Pickens too. Yeah.
No, I mean with Austin.
They actually have had 2 of their biggest plays in the last 2 years here in the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
They did it with Pickens last week, and they did it with Austin this year. I think that will continue to grow and come together the more confidence they get. The last thing I want to go here with the Steelers is, and then we're going to move on, the run game. Did it make any strides?
I think
second half it did. As you said, they changed up that blocking scheme and they started going downhill. And I still, for whatever they do, they need to tell Najee, do not go run outside that tackle box. You stay in between the tackles. You don't need to go out wide. That's ridiculous watching that. He looks like me running out there. Stop.
Oh, shit.
They got Connor Hayward to go between the tackles. He was fantastic.
Yeah.
What the hell was that called? Was it 4th and 1 and they give it to him and he got stuck 2 yards deep? That was the stupidest call.
There's one horrible call early in the game every week. Last week was it last week the jet sweep where they were moving the ball and they ran a freaking jet sweep. This week it was the one to Hayward. Like, he has no rhyme or reason half the time for what he's calling. All right, so it was a 20. Go ahead, Waddy.
Now, his plays are so predictable, and that's what also is kind of crazy because I know a little bit of football, but I shouldn't know NFL football. But if I can sit in my living room and I can call the play out before they even run it, that's a problem. I'm just an average Joe just sitting on my couch, and I can call it out every time. That's not good.
No.
That's not good.
No.
You need to give yourself a little more credit in that, KY. You're definitely better than the average Joe.
Yeah, I mean, football.
You know what I mean? But
you're a coach.
But I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but I shouldn't be able to do that though.
No.
Still,
especially because you're a defensive guy.
Yeah, I know where they're going, and it's not you shouldn't. I shouldn't be able to see that. I shouldn't.
Hey, I'm going to move through these next 2 games really rapidly. The Eagles beat the Bucs 25-11. It's not because of the Eagles' offense; it's their defense. And Baker was a no-show last night. He really didn't.
Baker was Baker.
Yeah, he had 146 yards in the air, 1 TD, 1 interception. They have a minimal running game. I think that team is just just biding their time with Baker till they can get draft a quarterback.
Absolutely.
No question in my mind. And then the Rams and Bengals, which was a pretty good game, but guys, I put on our Facebook group page. Joe Burrow doesn't look right to me. And I know everybody say, well, he's hurt, he's this, he's that. The look in that guy's eyes doesn't look right to me. There's something going on with him. And they're trotting his ass out there. He didn't throw a touchdown last night. No. He did not throw a touchdown pass last night.
No, but you know what he got?
He can't throw it. 10 yards is his. What'd you say, Sis?
I said, you know what he did get last night? He got paid. He got the big paycheck. He walked around gipping, throwing interceptions. 1 and 2.
I mean,
1 and 2, and he got that big fat paycheck this summer.
They easily could have been 0 and 3. They easily could have been 0 and 3.
They should have been 0 and 3. They should have been. They got lucky.
They signed AJ McCarron today.
Oh,
they signed AJ McCarron. Yeah, which sends a red flag up to me right away. McCarron's familiar with the Bengals system. Yeah. He played there for a long time. That's a red flag to me. I don't know what the plan is, but it certainly made me think.
I think he's a little more hurt than what people are actually saying. Did you see this one thing on the sideline? When he came to the sideline, they had this little, almost like a machine thing where they hooked up to that calf to kind of keep it loose or whatever was going on with that. And then they said he was having trouble pushing off of it. So, I mean, I think it's his leg. I really do.
Okay, my question to you guys is this. Is the Super Bowl won in the first 5 games?
No.
Is it won in the first 10 games?
No.
You know, the key is to get into the playoffs. Well,
yes.
If
you got to be hot.
Can put it, the key is for them to get this kid healthy if they want to even make a run. The longer you let him, the longer they let him do this shit, the worse chance they have of winning.
Yeah. The only problem they got is the division that they're in can get away from them. That's where the problem is. Yeah.
Imagine when TJ Watt comes. Imagine when TJ Watt comes to town the way he's playing right now.
Yeah.
You know, that's going to be insane. So,
this week they have Baltimore? No.
Yeah.
Who did Cincy play? Baltimore?
I think they have Baltimore this week.
Yeah.
At Tennessee.
No.
Oh,
okay.
At Tennessee.
Yeah, at Tennessee.
Okay.
Well, we'll see.
One.
Tennessee's going to be hurting. They're going to need
both
to rebound.
Real. Yeah.
You know,
they're
going to be hurting. They're going to be prepared. And who knows where Cincinnati is mentally. Hey, let's move on to our top performers for the week so we can do our picks and get the hell out of here. Who you got, Watson? Top player of the week on offense.
Oh, the Miami offense. I name the whole offense. You put up 70 points. I mean, shoot. That whole offense. I ain't never seen that done.
No. Noobs?
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to pick Devin Achane. Is that how you say his name? The running back from Texas A&M.
Yeah.
200 plus yards. And it's Miami's offense. But, man, for a rookie to come in and run for 200 yards, amazing.
Sis, who you got?
Yeah, Herbert, he sizzled him up over. He had, like we already mentioned his stats. He did great. Now, you know, he's down a wide receiver and down a running back this week. Number ones in each of those positions. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do. I think he can do it.
Funny you should say that. I got old-ass Keenan Allen, who's healthy 3 games into the season. He had over 200 yards receiving. I mean, that guy can play. He's always been able to play, but when he's healthy, he really can play. He's a quarterback's best friend out there. So that was my guy on offense. On defense, let's go ahead and go to Noobs. Who you got on defense?
I'm going to go Tui Pelota, however you say his name, from the Chargers. Rookie.
Yeah.
Had 9 pressures, 2 sacks. The kid is amazing. He was a second-round pick. Everyone's sleeping on that kid in the draft. He just turned 21 this month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's going to be a
Watson,
monster.
who you got?
I got the Buffalo defense. I like to do teams.
He's going teams.
Yeah, I got teams. I mean, they sacked the man 9 times, picked him off 4 times. I mean, that's a heck of a defensive effort right there. You know? That's.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
I think I was going to go with TJ Edwards, 17 tackles. Give Bears something.
Oh gosh, he probably had to make the tackles more than anybody else.
He was out there. He was dog tired. He's like just sticking his arm out. He's tackling people.
All right, I'm going out here. Myles Garrett had 3.5 sacks.
Is that the best edge rusher in the league?
You heard it.
Hold on. You said I'm gonna press record. Hold on, let me record this.
Hey, TJ still had 2 sacks. TJ leads the league with 6.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
Garrett had a 3.5
Wow.
sack game against
He's a
who the
monster.
hell they play?
How many does he have on the year? 3.5?
Might. He didn't have any in Pittsburgh.
No.
You know,
Yeah. I'm just saying.
that's still, he's a hell of a player. I'm not going to take that away from him. I
He's
don't
a
know.
good player, but he ain't
He's
better
a
than
top
TJ.
5. He's a top 5 guy. He's
Yeah.
not better than TJ, and he's not better than Parsons.
No.
Not better than
No.
Parsons either. Sorry. So, all right, let's move into our picks this week, guys. Detroit, Green Bay. Waddy, who you
Detroit.
got? Detroit. Sis,
Detroit.
Detroit. Noobs,
Detroit.
Detroit. Maradei, who you got? I got Detroit. Even though they're playing in Wisconsin, I got Detroit. Okay. Let's go game 2. Atlanta, Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
Waddy?
Jacksonville.
Jacks.
Jags. Come back.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Don't
I'm
call it a
right there
comeback.
with you. I think Atlanta won their quota for the year. Game 3, Miami at
Ooh.
Buffalo.
What a game.
Yep.
Miami at Buffalo. Ooh.
Mhm.
Buffalo's favored by 3.
Buffalo by 3. Yep.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm
I'm
gonna go.
going Miami.
I'm Miami.
Okay.
I'll go with the Bills.
I'm going Bills too.
Wow.
Yep. I'm going Bills too. I just think they're going to feel it. This is awful.
They should put that game on Monday night.
Hey, no one's going to watch this game unless you're a diehard. Denver at Chicago.
Oh,
my gosh.
Golly.
Denver's
Denver. I got Denver.
Denver. I'm going Denver.
Mhm.
Yeah, Denver.
Yeah, I think he'll have them ready to play this week. They're probably pissed off. To be
Kid
honest
from
with you.
Shepherd gets in the game this week.
Okay, we'll go with it. Baltimore, Cleveland.
Ooh. Is it Baltimore at Cleveland?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going Cleveland.
Yeah.
I got Cleveland.
Watch it. Sis,
Baltimore. I'll go Cleveland.
Who you got, Maradei?
It's because of the defense.
shit. This is tough. I mean, this is a really tough pick. I'm going to go Cleveland.
Cleveland's favored by 2.5.
Yeah. Cincinnati at Tennessee.
Cincinnati.
Give me the Bungles.
I'm going to go Tennessee.
Me too, noobs. Me too. Rams at Indy. This is going to be an okay game right here. Anthony Richardson will be back, and the Rams are surprising, guys. I'm sorry. I think they're a surprising team. They really are.
Yeah. I'm going Rams.
Okay, Waddy.
I like
Sis?
the Rams also.
Noobs.
Rams.
Okay. We're across the board. I took the Rams too. Hey, Tampa at New Orleans.
Saints.
I'm
That's
Saints.
where I'm at.
Oh, wait.
Yep.
Winston's playing?
Yeah.
Jameson
I'll
Winston.
still take the Aints.
Yeah.
I think he'll be better. With a week of practice, he'll be better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the
That's
I
start.
like him. Division game here. NFC East. Washington
Philly.
at Philly.
Do we have to go with the spread, or are we just picking a winner?
You're just picking a winner.
You can't
I
pick
know.
the spread on this one, 8.5. I'm still taking the Eagles.
Philly.
Minnesota at Carolina. Is this the week?
They're getting off the schneid.
Yes. Minnesota.
Yeah.
Off the schneid 0-3. I'm taking the Vikings.
And
Yep,
guess what?
Minnesota.
Carolina will be 0-4. I agree. Steelers at Houston.
This isn't hard. Steelers.
Steelers.
Why you act like it's a hard decision?
Don't overthink it.
This is a trap game. This is a trap game. I'm telling you. I smell it. and it could be a trap game. I'm gonna go with the Steelers because of a rookie quarterback, and hopefully we can confuse the kid. But
you smell
we got to be careful because this is a trap game. JJ Watt, they just supposed to be putting him up in their little ring of honor. You got that going on.
Yeah, but they just beat Jacksonville. Those Houston guys feel like they can't be touched. They feel they're on top of the world right now.
Trap game.
They're not motivated. Houston's not going to be super motivated.
Let's go on to Vegas and the Chargers.
What'd you pick?
I got Pittsburgh easy.
Oh no, Maradei.
Oh, Maradei.
I took Houston.
I knew it. I saw it in his eyes. He knew what I was saying. He knew it. I saw it in his eyes.
He just wants to get the points. He just wants to get the points.
I saw it in his eyes.
Trying to mix it up.
I know how Tomlin coaches.
Chargers and Raiders.
Until I see Tomlin coach differently, I know how Tomlin coaches. And I agree with you, Watson.
Yeah. This is a trap game, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Trap.
Vegas and Chargers. Vegas at Chargers.
Is Jimmy G playing?
No, he's got a concussion. He's in protocol.
It's a hit Mika Fitzpatrick put on him.
Who's the quarterback?
Head to head. Yeah, it was real intense. No.
I don't know who is that back?
Aiden O'Connell will be the backup. I don't know who number 2 is. I'm
going Chargers.
Chargers.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. Says
Chargers. Bolts. Favorite teams.
I don't even think this is a game to even pick. Dallas and New England.
Oh my God.
Dallas.
Really?
Dallas.
I agree.
Where they playing this game at?
They're playing in Dallas. I think Dallas has.
Yeah.
I think Dallas plays like, I don't know, something like 14 home games a year. Just seems like they're always home.
Okay.
Arizona, Frisco.
Frisco.
Yeah. San Fran.
Niners.
But I think Arizona will give them the best game of the year.
Yep, I can see that.
I do. I have a feeling that Arizona's going to give them their best game of the year.
I think Arizona played the best game of the year last week.
I don't know, man. We'll find out. Kansas City at the Jets. You don't even have to tell me, man. Kansas City.
Hey, can we just put Watson's auto picks on?
By the way, Watson, you're freaking first place in our league with your auto picks, okay? Last game, Monday night, Seattle with the Giants.
Now that's a good pick. Giants are favored, but I'm going to go with the Seahawks.
Are they really?
Okay. Yeah, Geno, man.
I'm going with the Giants.
The Giants are favored?
I
believe it.
Mikey boy?
I'm going
Is Saquon playing?
Who?
Saquon.
We don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
Breida actually did okay for them last week. All right, that's our picks. What are we watching for this week, man? What are we watching for? Watson, what are we watching for week 4?
Oh, man. I think that game between Buffalo, Miami is that the AFC championship game. Is that it?
Oh.
Is that the game? Are we getting a preview? I think we're taking a little sneak peek at that.
Okay. Oops.
I'm really interested to see Baltimore Cleveland too. I think that game will be I don't think it'll be super exciting as far as scoring goes, but if you're like a true football fan, that's going to be a really physical game that's going to come down to the end, I think.
I think the NFL did it right with a lot of these divisional games. You got the Packs, the Lions, the Bills, the Dolphins, like Noob said, the Browns and the Ravens. Those are some exciting games up front early on. I think Watson's right with the Bills, Dolphins. That could be the AFC Championship. I hope not, but that could be. College-wise, I'm looking forward to the Auburn-Georgian game.
Oh, nice.
Ooh,
hey,
that'd be a good one.
I'm going outside the box here, man, because I said what to watch for in week 4. I'm looking at the Denver-Chicago game. I want to see how a team that got lambasted 70-20 responds. going to a place where the quarterback is now public enemy number one. He called out his coaches. He's got fans burning his jerseys, yet they're trotting him out there as the number one quarterback. I want to see what happens in that game. It's not going to be a good football game. Don't get me wrong. But I want to see the response from these two teams and their players, because they both were they were both bad last week. Just bad. So it's going to be interesting to me to watch it unravel. All right, great show, guys. Hey, Waddy, go ahead and give your social media. How do we follow you?
At Coach K Watt on Twitter or
Yes, sir. T-Sizz?
At One Young Terry, Twitter and Instagram.
Noobs?
At Coach Noob on Instagram and X. It's right there. You can see it right there. Yeah. Coach Noob.
Hey, you can follow us by checking out our webpage, podpage.com, Original Sports Podcast with Mark Maradei, like our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, and check us out on YouTube. As I always say, even if you watch us, we have older episodes that are fantastic. Feel free to let us know if you have any comments, questions, suggestions, whatever you want to ask by emailing us at originalsportspodcast@gmail.com. Thanks to Sean and Koviak for doing the voice intro for the show. Charlie Hodgson for writing the music for the show. My wife for taking care of the website. Next October 7th, this October 7th, we will be live at Rockwell Brewery on East Street in Frederick. Be doing our show there. If you watch the show, if you listen to the show, come on, join us there. Be part of the crowd. Talk to us while we're doing the show. We love giving shout outs. So, hey, thanks for joining us tonight. Everybody have a good night, and we'll see you October 7th. Peace.